Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting edition of How Stories Work. Today, I want to talk about the four through lines. Knowing the four through lines of your story will have the most significant impact on your storytelling. What are the four through lines? So, if you don't know, you can always go into Muse and just ask directly. Muse is the always on 24/7 AI chatbot that is here to help you work out your story. So you'll see it listed out the four through lines. Objective story through line, which is the plot. Most people know as the A storyline. The main character through line, which are the personal issues that are inherent just to that main character point of view that nobody else shares. The obstacle character, who is somebody who has an alternative way of resolving conflict, who acts as an obstacle towards the main character, causes them to grow. And then the relationship story through line, which is meant to be a counter or a balance to the objective story through line and is usually the relationship between the main character and the obstacle character. Now, regardless of what kind of a story you're working on, as long as you start with these four through lines, like I said, you'll be way ahead of the game. And you can start as easily as saying, I want to write a story about two elves who, at the end of their era, going about and destroying magic for all time. What are four through lines? Muse will take a look at what it is that you're trying to write and will give you an idea of what those four through lines will be, and then hopefully give you a springboard for developing that. So, for instance, objective story through line, this is the overarching plot of your story. In your case, it would be the journey of two elves as they set out to destroy magic for all time. This would involve the challenges they face, the allies and enemies they encounter. Okay, that's pretty basic stuff. Main character. This is the personal journey of one of your elves. Let's say Elf A is your main character. This through line would explore Elf A's personal struggles, motivations, and growth. All right, pretty basic. An obstacle character on me. B is more determined to destroy magic and challenges A's hesitations, causing Elf A to question their belief. And then the relationship would be between the two of them. It might start as a partnership, but as they journey to destroy magic, their differing views could cause tension, conflict, and eventually growth in their relationship. That's actually kind of cool. Because with the relationship, you always want to look at the growth of the relationship, where it is at the beginning of the story and where it is at the end. Remember, these are just suggestions. Does this help clarify? Yes. I like relationship being partnership that eventually grows to them not really caring for each other. Well, it's going to end pretty badly. It's going to be dark. Let's make this like a dark fantasy. Maybe this is more of a darker fantasy novel. And I like the idea of the obstacle character being more determined to destroy magic. So yes, let's make LA more hesitant. But I'd like to know why. First of all, it really has nothing to do with magic. Because sometimes, just by nature and how they end up, it doesn't know too much about the story, so it's all about the same. And you really want to make these through lines something that's completely different. Just give me 2 minutes for that. Sometimes it just grabs names that it's known before. So we'll see. We could give him a personal reason to be hesitant about destroying magic. Okay, so this is character A. Perhaps he has a loved one who was a great magic user and respected the power of magic. This loved one could have passed away, and he holds on to their teachings and values. As for names, how about calling Elf A Eldrin and Elf B Thalin? I feel like those are names I've seen before. Are those names from a book? I feel like they are. They are fairly common names in fantasy literature and role-playing games. Just in case, let's make Elf A, Eric, and Elf B. Thalia. So I'm just kind of riffing on those. The personal connection is a little too easy, or I feel like I've seen that before. Oh, here we go. All right. So Eric and Thalia, two elves at the end of the era, are embark on a journey to destroy magic for all time. Cool. Eric, who had a loved one who respected and used magic, struggles with the we're gonna come up with more ideas for this. Thalia is more determined. Well, at the end of the relationship, I want them to be at odds, not each other, so that for sure all magic is dead forever. And then for the main character, 4 potential ideas, personal damage, or different ones you have. So this is about thinking your way through the different through lines. And it's a really fun way to develop your story, even before you do any sort of plotting or anything like that. All right. So here are 4 different ideas. Guilt. You could be carrying guilt over a past mistake that had severe consequences. All right. Abandonment. Eric could have abandoned or betrayed by someone he trusted deeply. This experience makes him hesitant to fully trust in the mission with Thalia. Inferiority. Eric could have always felt inferior to others, perhaps due to a lack of magical ability. This feeling of inferiority can make him question whether, actually, so I'm going to build on that. I actually like number 3, but I want it to be that Eric is afraid that once all magic is destroyed, inferior. So in other words, he's afraid of losing his special. He was not ready to give that up. That's actually quite interesting. Why that is, that would be the backstory, and that would be something that I would develop. So let's see. It adds a personal stake for Eric and makes his internal conflict more compelling. Eric, despite being an elf, has always felt special due to his magical abilities. The prospect of destroying all magic terrifies him, as he fears it will render him ordinary or inferior. His personal journey involves grappling with this fear and the potential loss of his uniqueness. This fear could also add a layer of tension to his relationship with Thalia, who is more determined to destroy magic. That was totally awesome. The reason why he is like that, let's get that. His father always made him feel inferior, and so he doesn't want to let that go. And we're coming up on 10 minutes, so I don't want to spend too much time here. But I just wanted to show you, there, we have all 4 through lines, the objective story, main character through line, which gives us a personal in, because everybody in the audience will have some experience of what that feels like to feel inferior, regardless of the storytelling, the specific storytelling. And they'll be able to relate to it. So Eric, who has always felt special due to his magic abilities, fear the destruction of all magic, he believes it will render him ordinary. This fear stems from his past, where his father constantly made him feel inferior. So it's like a personal baggage. It's a way for the audience to get into it. Meanwhile, Thalia is going to have her own approach to that, where like the same thing happened to her, but she went a totally different direction. And from there, I can just go ahead and start writing my story. And what you can do is at the end is like, does this backstory work for Eric's character? Yes, that works great. Just give me an idea of what this all looks like. Can you please blend all 4 lines together to give me a summary of the story? Feel free to come up with a title. All right, let's see how it does. So then when you go to write the story, regardless of how you're going to illustrate it, eventually these all get blended back together. But it can be harder to really get to the heart of what's wrong with each of these through lines when you do it all at once. So the idea is to work on them separately and blend them together as you write, and you'll get a much more powerful story. So I'll copy and put this into the description below, but just to read it real quick, it's called The Last Echo of Magic. All right. In a world where the era of elves and magic is coming to an end, Eric and Thalia, 2 elves, embark on a mission to destroy magic forever. Eric, who has always felt special due to his magical abilities, fears the loss of magic as he believes it will render him ordinary or inferior. This fear stems from his past, where his father constantly made him feel inferior, and his magic was the one thing that made him feel unique and valuable. On the other hand, Thalia is determined and unwavering in her mission to destroy magic, challenging Eric's hesitations and influencing his beliefs and motivations. Their partnership, initially strong, gradually strains due to differing views on their mission. As they journey together, facing numerous challenges and impacting the world around them, the relationship evolves from a partnership to a strained relationship, eventually leading them to be at odds and not speaking with each other. This signifies the end of elven magic, leaving Eric to grapple with his fear and the loss of his uniqueness. Does this blended summary capture the essence of your story? Great. Going to go right now. And that's it. Relatively quickly, about 10 minutes, you can just talk your way through the 4 through lines, and I had no concept of what I wanted to do 10 minutes ago. And all of a sudden now I have an idea for what could possibly be a really great story because it has those 4 through lines. You can start on your own journey by collaborating with Muse and figuring out the 4 through lines together. Talk to you next time.